There's Dr. Nicola. Sorry, this is a new format for me, so I'm trying to sort it out. What is happening? I don't. Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry about that. Facebook's changing things up on me, and I'm not very techie, so don't love that. So, anyway, I wanted to touch base today because there are huge emotions that are coming through right now. And I've been talking with a lot of my patients today and this week and last week. And what I'm realizing is that for almost everybody, what's coming up is something from childhood. It's like this old emotion or a pattern or memories. But basically, what the way that I've been explaining it to my folks is that right now, with the shelter in place orders for most of us, we are home a lot more. So we don't have all of the distractions of the mind to help us avoid looking in those dark, musty, cobwebby corners that we stay busy most of the time to avoid. And right now we're home. We don't have the same distractions. We're with our families potentially. And all of this stuff is really coming to a head. And people aren't really grokking like what has quarantine and COVID got to do with feeling abandoned by my mom when I was 9 or having lack in my home of origin when I was growing up. But it's bringing up these big old patterns of abandonment, neglect, betrayal, fear. What are some of the other ones? Anyway, that'll come to me. But these are big emotions. And so if you can slow down enough to just notice, how am I actually feeling right now? Okay, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling irritated. Seeing the shelves empty at the grocery store made me feel a sense of lack, but my head knows that that's not what's here. I would just invite you to come out of your head and just spend some time simply acknowledging the emotion that's there. And that's never going to be a story. It's just going to be a feeling. It's going to be very few words that you'll receive from your body. And then ask yourself the question, when was the first time I felt this way? Not as an adult, not as a parent, but even as a kiddo or before that. And so just try to connect into the first time you maybe felt this emotion or this sensation, and then dive a little deeper into that. Because my guess is, for you, like so many other people I've been working with, this is a big deal. Now, sometimes going into these dark and musty corners is a scary place, or we're afraid we're going to get overwhelmed. But I'll tell you, most of the time, in fact, every time that I can remember, when I've gone there with my patients, there's actually what I'm hearing back is, oh, there's a huge sense of relief, or I'm finally able to exhale completely, or I feel so much lighter. Because what's happening is that we're carrying this unconscious energy with us. And as soon as we bring it into the light and simply name it, we don't need to analyze it or explain it or make ourselves wrong or blame somebody else. It's really just about recognizing, oh, this is what's here. It's kind of like if you had somebody at your front door and they were knocking and we ignored it, they get louder and louder and louder and louder, and the doorbell and this and that, and the dogs are going crazy. And maybe they go around the house and peek in your living room window because they're trying to get your attention. So if we just open the door and greet whatever is there, then that provides just some breathing room and some conscious awareness of, oh, this is what's up for me right now. There's my dog barking, speaking of somebody at the door. So that can be incredibly helpful to just simply name what it is, and it takes that charge out of it. And so that would be my recommendation to you. I had one more thing I wanted to offer, and I just lost it. But just giving yourself a little bit more space around that, and no matter what's coming up, saying, I notice that this is here, and it's okay that this is here. Because if you're worried about a loved one, if you're worried about getting sick, if you're worried about the economy, if you're worried what's just everything that's happening in our global community right now, that's legitimate. That's okay. It's the running away from, or the pushing away from, or the resistance to what's here that will actually create more anxiety and angst in your body. And this time, if you choose to receive it or filter it through this lens, is actually this beautiful time to connect into old patterns and old fears, old hurts. And how have we tended to them before? Have we overexercised? Have we overindulged in alcohol? Have we gotten really busy? Have we been really connected into social media or shows or the screen in some way? And then just really from there start, how else could I nourish my system? How could I show up for myself in a way that feels truly nurturing rather than avoidant? And cultivate some of these practices around, showing up for yourself in a bigger, more committed way. And that can be a question. Maybe you're not even sure you want to do that. So maybe that's where you start, which is, am I willing to commit to myself on a deeper level? And maybe the answer is yes. And maybe the answer is no. Or maybe the answer is, I'm not sure. But it's important to at least facilitate that conversation with yourself so you can have an accurate read of where you are. But that's a big gift of this time in the world, is the gift of slowing down and starting to take care of ourselves differently. And maybe that means that you're just drinking more water. Maybe that means you're getting fresh air every day. Maybe that means your sleep habits are going to be a little different. I don't know. It's really, that's irrelevant. What is most relevant is that you're moving in this path of embracing the time that we don't normally get in order to go a little deeper. And we'll talk more about that next time. Thank you so much for joining. Let me know if you have questions, and I'd love to hear from you around what's coming up and how I might be able to support with that. So thanks so much for joining. Take care. We'll see you soon. Bye.